Hi, am I audible? Hi, Jay. Am I audible?
Yeah, hi Suvaleena.
Hi, hi, hi. Okay, perfect. Good morning from my side. Good evening from your side.
Yeah, good morning. So we already have some students who have joined,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we'll wait for another 10 minutes to start.
yep, yep.
Hello, everyone, for joining the session. As we will be going live, we are already live and we will be starting the session exactly at 8 p.m. IST. And once again, thank you, everyone, for joining the session. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our amazing session that we have today for you. Well, we all are excited to have this amazing conversation because we have a very special guest with us today. And the best part is she's gone through the whole journey that you are going to experience in the upcoming months out there, and you're going to have a conversation with an person, who's gone through the same process. Probably she would have faced the same difficulties that you're facing right now, and we are really excited to have her today on the session. But before we dive into the session, we would like to talk a little bit about Galvanize, so that you also settle for the session and get ready for this amazing conversation that we're going to have today. So to begin with, as a lot of you are aware, but in case you aren't aware, Galvanize Global Education is actually founded and managed by alumni from top universities like Stanford, Harvard, IIT Madras, and IIM Ahmedabad. And what do we do? Yes, we do help students for their journey of higher education abroad, right from their baby step of giving these exams like GRE, IELTS, TOEFL. And not only that, we have a team of experts helping students for their admission counseling for bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degree out there. And not to forget, Galvanize is that your back for your last minute assistance for all the other activities like courier services, foreign exchange, student insurance, and many more such activities out there. Well, we are very happy to share that 65 plus countries have chosen Galvanize in their journey of higher education. And not only that, we have placed our students across 1,000 plus universities across 80 plus countries out there. And this is something which I won't take much of your time, but I would request you to take a look at the Quora threads that we're going to share in the chat box. And this is something where students have shared their experience, their journey with Galvanize, maybe test prep or admission counseling out there. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you would be quite, active on Quora, of course, for various reasons. But in case you're looking for higher education, then do check out the links out there, which I'm going to share in the chat box. And not to forget, if you are using our mobile applications, great. I'm pretty sure you would be really excited. But in case you haven't, I would really urge you to take a look at our mobile applications out there, which has amazing ratings out there with amazing, way of learning for the GRE vocabulary, or I would say, the SAT preparations out there. Well, before I jump into the session out there and I introduce to you the host for today's webinar, I would quickly like to run a poll where I would like to understand which degree are you interested in, master's, MBA, PhD, or you haven't decided yet. Great. I see a lot of students have that I have today on my session are looking for masters. But yes, it's also good to see PhD aspirants and MBA aspirants out there. And with that, I would like to end my poll. And here I would quickly like to understand one more thing. And here we go with the second poll. How confident do you feel about the admission process? Because in this session, we're going to talk more about admissions, applications, and your profile, and a lot of things that are really exciting for the session. Great. It's between somewhat confident, very confident, not very confident. Well, to all the students today, I would say that once you leave the session today, you would be feeling very confident, and you would have gained a lot of information out there on the session out there. And now we're going to jump into the session, and I would like to introduce to you our host for today's webinar. We have with us Jayanti Ramakrishnan, who's the Global Admissions Head at Galvanize. And a little bit about her: she graduated with a PhD from University of Texas with an impressive feat, on its own. So Galvanize here, she closely works with the editing and strategy team to ensure that students are getting the best, possible things out there. And as you could see, she's done her studies from US itself. And here we are really, really excited to have her. And with that, I would hand over the mic to Jayanti ma'am, where she would like to start the conversation and introduce our excited guest and special guest for the day. So Jayanti ma'am, shall we start with the session?
Yes, Ramya. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Ramya, for the nice introduction. And good evening to all of you for joining us today on this session. So we have a very exciting session today where one of our alumni, Suvaleena Paul, has graciously agreed to join us and talk to our study abroad aspirants, to answer the questions and the queries and the confusion that you guys may have in your mind. And she has agreed to answer all of those. Okay, to give you a brief introduction, Suvaleena has completed her master's in data analytics from Georgia State University in the US. She is currently working at Bank of America. And couple of years ago, she had actually enrolled with Galvanize to get some help on the study abroad process. And today she's decided to pay it forward and help some other guys who, like her, are trying to go abroad. So she has agreed to, talk to you guys. So the way we will do this session is we'll ask her some general questions first, and she'll give us, her answers, and she'll discuss about the process that she went through and all that. And then we'll also open it up to the audience towards the end. Okay. So good evening, Suvaleena. Very welcome to the session, and we are very happy to have you with us here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great. So before we start, I'll just share my screen where we have the questions already typed up, and most of these questions were actually given to us by some of the students who are attending the session today. And if for any reason your questions didn't make it, please don't worry. You can still type them in the chat box, and we will take it up towards the end of the session. Okay. Okay, to start with, we just want you to introduce yourself a little bit, tell us a little bit about yourself, your academic background, what you're currently doing in the US and things like that.
Sure. Hi, guys. A very good evening, and I hope we get the most out of this session. I'm really excited to help you guys out in any way possible. But to start with, a little about myself. I finished my BTech back in India in 2019 in chemical engineering from Manipal Institute of Technology. And since then, I've been working in India till 2021. So 2019, I joined Goldman Sachs as a summer employee, which was an internship of 4 months as a data analyst. So this is just a sneak peek before we go into the question answer session. That is when I actually got introduced to data analytics. It was very sudden, and from chemical engineering into data analytics, but I always had a very insane forte for coding, I can say that, but it was very exciting. And just after that, I switched my background in my professional work. So next I had a 2-year stint at Infosys as a systems engineer. And I was trying to go ahead in my career. And I thought the best way to do it is just follow the passion and get a degree in data analytics, because it really excited me, and that was kind of like my calling. And I decided to move to US, because what better than US in terms of pay and experience, and that's when I joined Galvanize. It was an amazing experience. I ended up joining Georgia State University with an MS in data science and analytics. I completed my master's in 2022 December. It was last December. I started working here from last May. I got into a company as a data analyst. It was Ascent Business Systems. But my dream company was Bank of America even before I came here. So I had been working towards it, and I got an offer letter for joining in December. And since December, I've been working as an assistant vice president in the fraud analytics team in Bank of America. And yeah, that is it. It's been very exciting.
That's very interesting, and I'm glad that you decided to pursue your passion as opposed to trying to stick to what you had studied in your bachelor's, and so that is great. And I think many of us at some point in our career, we do come across these situations where we are not sure whether we want to do this or we want to pursue something else. So that was very interesting the way you took it forward. So,
Thank you so much.
yeah. So you already touched upon this a little bit as to why you decided to choose US. But is there any strong reason that you decided that you couldn't do data science in India, and you decided that you have to study abroad? What were the deciding factors for you which made you decide that, you know, I need to go out of India to study? And particularly, why did you pick US?
That's a very good question because I did my research, and in fact, before that, I had taken up a few courses to understand exactly which course to go for, because we have three courses together which are we can differentiate by a very thin line. That's data analytics, business analytics, and data science. So I understood what's the difference and which one I want, and I wanted data analytics or a little bit of data science as well. And this we are talking about back in 2019. So back then, data science wasn't this big a hype back in India. Like there were jobs coming up, but the study opportunities, the academic way of going about it and getting a degree wasn't that much available back in India. We had a few crash courses, even in the IITs for that matter, but it wasn't a full-blown thing back then. So I researched, and data science has been in US for quite some time, almost 2 decades. And yeah, US has the best pay. So both merged, and yeah, I wanted the best education, and then I wanted to work in the best companies that handles a whole lot of data. So hence I chose US.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. That is a very interesting point that you made, where you said that you did your research on finding out the difference between data science, data analytics, and business analytics. Because this is a very common question that is asked by the students to our counselors in their first meeting, if that is a line that they want to pursue. I think many of the students, when they come to us, they're not sure what they want to pursue. And some of the questions they ask us is, okay, what is the difference? So that is very interesting that, you know, you also did the same research before you decided to go with data science.
Yes.
Okay. So some personal questions. Are you the first from your family to pursue an education abroad? And how did your parents react when you told them that you want to study abroad? And also when you got your admit, what was their reaction?
So yes, I am the first one in my family to study abroad. But somehow the idea was sown into my parents' minds by my professors back in Manipal. They had been suggesting that why don't you pursue your masters in US directly, and my parents were very against it back then because I'm the only child, and yeah, they just did not want me to leave. But as and when times started moving and I wanted to go ahead in my career, parents understood, and somehow even they asked me to do a little research and get to know what's going on, if I can go ahead and know about the financing, everything. And parents were extremely elated, obviously, when I got the admission. Like it was just not my achievement. It was a team achievement. Like they have whatever I am today, it's because of them. And yeah, it was their achievement too. So they were extremely excited. They are still excited. I haven't gone back home in 2 years since I came here. I'm in October, yeah, and they cannot like contain their excitement to see me and finally express what they feel about how I've turned my life around in US. So yeah, they were very excited.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah, I remember. I mean, what you say is completely true. It is a team effort. Your family members have to be there along the way. You know, just the emotional support that they offer, even if they are not able to guide you on the process, the emotional support that they give you plays a huge part for you to go there and then be alone. You know, many people, like you said, they after they finish their bachelor's and when they go for masters or PhD abroad is the first time they're actually staying away from home.
Yeah.
So it's a
I
very
have
big,
many friends here.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, that also makes them feel good that you're not alone there. And US definitely has in all the universities has a very high Indian student population and Indian associations where they celebrate all the Indian festivals. So you still feel that connection with home when you're abroad. So that is definitely a big. Okay. So you also touched about this a little bit, that you switched from chemical engineering to data science because that was what you really were interested in. But when you did the switch, did you find it difficult? Because even though you had an engineering background, you would have had the necessary math courses and all that. But it is a big switch. So did you find it difficult initially?
So the basic requirements of switching from any core chemical, I mean, not chemical, sorry, any core engineering course, be it mechanical, electrical, chemical, anything, to a IT course, that is a computer science based course, is the knowledge and grasp over coding. So I was a huge fan of coding since school. I had a very strong coding background since school, and I loved coding. So somehow I just wanted to get back to coding. I was kind of missing coding. And as kids, just out of school, when we get into college, it's difficult to choose a right course for that is going to lay our future ahead. We are generally guided by what others say, and most nowadays I'm seeing this is a trend. Whichever course people take up in their BTech, they don't end up pursuing that in their career. But for me, I guess the turning point was my internship at Goldman Sachs, because in that interview, they didn't ask much about coding, but I had to do a lot of coding in the job. And that is when I found my calling. And further ahead, actually, this was very helpful. When I joined Infosys, I'm sure many of you all would know this, Infosys has a world-class program where they train the employees for 4 months on the kind of job that they're going to make us do. The first 2 months of pure coding. So they teach you full Python, data management, everything. So that was really helpful. But yeah, the switch wasn't difficult, but the decision for sure was difficult. And obviously, it was more prospective to get into a computer-based field back then. More jobs were there. It was more high paying. Hence, I decided. And while choosing data science, I told you I actually took a few courses to understand which I'm liking and which I'm not.
Okay.
Because I did not want to run the same mistake that I did with chemical, just getting into it without knowing what it is. So those courses were like introductory ones that gave me an outline what exactly the role entails, like what are the things that are taught and what are expected out of you as a professional if you do business analytics, data analytics, and data science. And I realized data science and analytics, like both of them merged together, is like the best fit for me. So that's how it happened.
Because this switch thing is a very common thing with the students. And what you said, I hope all of you heard that the coding background is very necessary. So when we have students who have no coding background and they want to switch, it's a little bit of a challenge for them because they don't meet the basic requirements of the admission process itself. So many times the counselors, advise them doing some courses online, Coursera and Udemy and stuff like that to build their coding base a little bit. So that is very interesting. And I'm sure that all of them who are hearing, it's nice for them to hear from someone who has already done that and, given that experience. So again, I think you already answered this, that you did some courses to actually find out what you need to do, how you can up your game, how you can build your profile so that you switch when you switch your major, it's not a challenge for you. Okay, so I'll go to...
But other than this also, actually, I did one postgraduate diploma.
Yes.
So so that's why I didn't touch it before. The thing is, I did these courses like the ones you said from Udemy, Coursera and all. These were like very introductory ones just to give me an idea of what the subject matter holds. But to get a deeper insight, once I chose which path to pursue, I wanted a deeper insight before, just stepping into a foreign land and starting to do stuff. Because by then I had done research and I knew that education in US is very different. So I wanted to be prepared. I wanted to have the basic outline that what will be expected out of me once I decide to go to US and pursue my education. So I did a postgraduate diploma from Symbiosis Center of Distance Learning on data science and statistics. So that
Okay.
was pretty helpful. Plus, having the degree on my resume actually, I'm not sure if it did make a difference, but I hope it did somewhere. But at
Yes.
least gave me a lot of insights as to what to
Yeah.
expect.
I think also when you have a degree like that in your resume, or even if it doesn't directly help in the resume, it would have definitely helped in writing your SOP and, the
Yeah,
weaving the story there, where you're able to say, okay, these are the things you have done and you have taken the effort to
exactly.
do these things. So that definitely would have helped, somewhere in the application process.
For sure. It just makes your case stronger. That's it.
Yes, exactly.
Probably it won't be a adding point to get an admission, but it just makes your case stronger. Shows how much you're interested in it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, now coming to the actual application process, how did you find that? Did you find the process very daunting, or was it? I mean, how once you shortlisted the universities, or even shortlisting the universities, how was that whole process for you?
So hell yeah, I was very intimidated by the entire process. Hence, I reached out to Galvanize because I
Okay.
was working. I was working, and I did not have the time and patience to go through each and every university, and I did not want to leave out a single. So I'm this
Hmm.
person. I'm a control freak. I do not want to later get to know that. Oops. I did not get to know about this. So whatever I do, I try to, cover all grounds. So I was very scared. I was like, there are hundreds of universities. Which ones to choose? But then finally, in fact, my family actually helped me out in this. We jotted down a few criteria that were the most important to us as a
Okay.
family and for me in terms of my education. So first, obviously for me, first was the course structure. Like there are n number of universities, and obviously when we go to Google and we type out the best ones, we get a list of like 100 to 500 universities for that
Yeah.
matter. But and we do want to stick to the ranking as well, because that's what helps us get a better job in like
Yeah.
after graduating. So out of that, for me, it was very important to have a good course structure, like exactly the kind of subjects that I'm looking for. Nothing else, nothing more, like nothing more difficult, and nothing on the side that won't hold any importance in future in my career field. So I actually skimmed through each and every course structure of the degree in each and every college that I wanted to. But before that, shortlisting of college were mainly on the financing. We had a upper cap, like beyond this, we're not going to go with the money,
Okay.
because I was self-financed. Yeah, my family financed me, so we knew exactly how much budget we had, and we didn't want to go beyond it. So that was very helpful. That eliminated a lot. Again, the cutoff criteria, be it for GPA, and back then it was GRE and TOEFL scores also. So all these cutoff criterias were there in order to
Hmm.
shortlist universities. So all these were very important. And once after the first three, when I had a list of universities, then I skimmed through all the coursework, because I did not want to go wrong this time. So
Okay.
yep.
Got it. Okay. One question for you: when you made your criteria, was whether one of the conditions that you had, or you didn't? It didn't matter to you.
Well, it wasn't one of the criteria, because I was good to like go anywhere, but
Okay.
obviously I would prefer not. But if it was a very good college who was probably giving me a scholarship, and probably is in New York or somewhere in the north, and it's very cold, I guess I was good to go ahead and take it,
Go ahead
because
and take it.
yeah, weather wasn't the biggest of my concerns.
Okay. And was US the only country you targeted? Did you explore
Yes.
options? Okay, you didn't explore anywhere else.
I did explore, but I didn't explore universities. I just explored options like how much value does the degree from that country hold
Okay.
when you go to a workplace. That was
Oh,
my evaluation, and I saw US as the best.
okay, great.
University
Okay,
wise, it was just US.
okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, so again, we are asking you at the time of application, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about your profile in terms of your scores, your GPA. I think you already talked about your work experience and the courses
Yeah.
you did. But what about your academic profile at that time?
So most of the universities ask for a GPA above 3.5, I
Hmm.
guess, and there are universities who also accept 3.
Yeah.
So this 3.5 and 3, this is for all of y'all. This is on US standard. Like we get a GPA in US out of 4, contrary to India, which is out of 10. So we have to do that adjusting. So anyways, it is a cutoff is 3 or 3.5. I had something between 3 and 3.5. So obviously universities that had cut off above 3.5 were eliminated for my case. So I went for universities above 3 and on the higher side. So that
Okay.
was my GPA thing. And luckily, I had a good GRE in TOEFL. I had like 110 plus in TOEFL, and I guess around 320 plus in GRE. So that wasn't a concern because these are like the cutoff limits for universities. But GPA was something that actually pulled me down a little because obviously back in BTech, I did not think I'll do this. But still, it worked out. It all worked out.
Yeah. Again, I think what everyone should realize, it's not just one factor that
Yeah.
contributes to the admission. It's a holistic process. So if somebody doesn't have a high GPA, but they took the GRE, even if it's
Yeah.
optional or waived, and they're able to score well there, it kind of boosts your profile. Definitely
Oh,
putting
for
in
sure.
yeah, definitely putting in the effort for doing these extra courses and doing some internships, projects, work experience. All of this also boosts your profile. So along with your GPA, it's all these other things that come together
Absolutely.
as a complete package. Even your SOP, your letters of recommendation, and all that. All of that also makes everything go well, and that's how you end up getting a successful admit after that.
Jayanti, I would just like to address the students in this case. It's good you brought out this because GRE and TOEFL has become optional, but
Yeah.
after like seeing all the process and coming here, finishing my studies and getting into a job, everything throughout the process, I've realized one thing: no matter how much they make it optional, it's always a plus if you have the score. You never know where you would need it because for sure it makes your profile stronger when you write it out in your SOP. Especially having that TOEFL is very important further ahead also because you can explore many other options. But GRE itself shows it holds a lot of value in US. I can tell this. The exam in itself probably isn't that difficult when we are back in India and we have our Indian background from ICSC or CBSE, whatever. But the score, if you have a good score, at least the 310 plus also, if you have a score, that somewhere or the other it just comes up and it is a plus when if you have it. Rather
Yeah.
than saying it was optional and I did not take it. At least
Yeah.
you took the effort, you went that extra edge and you did it. So yeah, that's plus point.
Even with the English language test, there are many
Yeah.
universities now that have even waived that. But
Yeah, I know.
just from my personal experience, I had a good TOEFL score. This was back in the early 2000s when I went for my master's and PhD. And because I had a good TOEFL score at that time, I was given a teaching assistantship. So initially for the first semester,
Exactly.
I was like a grader and an assistant to the actual professor. But then because I had a good TOEFL score, I had to take a quick English speaking test at my university. And then from the next semester, I got a full teaching assistantship to become an actual instructor for the math courses. So sometimes the things that you don't think are going to help you, you never know. Exactly the way you said, that something you do just because you have to do it, but you never know later on when it is going to become helpful and
Exactly.
useful for you. Yeah, so
I
that definitely
actually
is.
forgot that because it did not occur with me, but it actually happened with a few friends of mine. Because for my case, I had taken GRE TOEFL pretty ahead of my application process. But
Hmm.
just before my application, they had waived off. My university had waived off GRE. They did not need it. But and hence many of my friends did not have GRE TOEFL. And exactly how you said, like we had graduate research assistantship throughout. So there were a lot of teaching assistantships, and even after waiving off, only the students who had the TOEFL score ended up getting that, and it was more high paying than graduate research assistantship.
Yeah, yeah. I think it also helps in terms of a teaching assistantship or a research assistantship. That kind of a job also helps with your coursework there, because you're
For
doing
sure.
something related to the academics. I mean,
Yeah.
there are numerous campus jobs that you can get, but then if it's not related to your academic thing, it kind of becomes a chore that you have to do because you want the money for it. But if it's something like a research assistantship or a teaching assistantship, you also get the experience, which again adds to
Yeah.
your resume, saying that I have been a teaching assistant for so many years at this university and things like that. So yes, that is definitely a plus. Okay, so to dig a little deeper into the application process, what were some of the challenges you faced with respect to the application process? Do you remember anything like that?
So once the universities were finalized, I guess there were just three challenges. The first one was curating the SOP and LOR, the best way of doing it, and finalizing it, and you come into terms that yeah, this is the best you can do. So that took a little time and a little permutation combination. That was one thing to get it just right. Second was looking for scholarships, because I wanted a scholarship since I was self-funded, and some of the universities, like I got an admit from Pennsylvania State University as well. They had offered me
Mm.
an upfront scholarship, but
Okay.
they told me that they're never gonna that is the extent they go to. They wouldn't offer a graduate research assistantship, which will be like a monthly payment thingy.
Mm.
Like graduate research assistantship actually pay you on a monthly basis, and that helps you survive here, as well as you get an experience that is more important rather. But Penn State told they're going to upfront waive off a chunk of my fees, but that wasn't much also. That was like just $5,000. But
Okay.
Penn State was way higher in rank than Georgia State. But on the contrary, I got Georgia State and I got a merit-based scholarship. Okay, here actually the GRE TOEFL comes in. I actually got a merit-based scholarship from Georgia State University because I had my GRE and TOEFL scores. So I got that
Okay.
scholarship, and on top of that, after like a lot of mails and a lot of resume checking and everything, I did end up getting a graduate research assistantship as well. So
Okay.
deciding if to go for a higher ranked college or a better prospective college in terms of job and finances, that decision was difficult, because obviously I had a lot of people telling me go for Penn State because it's like
Mm.
back then it was number 40 or something. But so I took the
Yeah.
right decision. I can tell you that I took the right decision coming to GSU. I had reasons, but let's not discuss this here. I know we have
Mm.
questions on that later.
So, one thing about the scholarship, did you get it at the time of the admit, or did you get the scholarship from GSU after you reached there?
No. So the merit-based scholarship, I got it with my admit letter. It was there in the
Okay.
admit letter. So they
Okay.
had evaluated my profile, and again, because of the scores, they had offered me a merit-based scholarship that waived off my like a chunk of my fees, which was way higher than $5,000. And on top of that, after I requested and I sent over my CV to the professors and the back then whoever the coordinator in the entire admission process was, they finally put me into a graduate research assistantship. Everything was done sitting in India. It was all
Nice.
ready for me to begin with when I came to US. Nothing happened in US. I had like
Oh,
finalized everything before I came here. I knew what's going to happen.
that is awesome. Okay, so you kind of again touched upon this a little bit. Do you have any specific tips on writing the SOP? That is one of the questions that the students are always concerned about, because they feel
For
that
sure.
SOP has to be out of the world for me to get an admit into a specific university. So what is your view on that?
I would have to merge Galvanize. I have to bring in Galvanize here. So thing is, obviously, when I had that question and I went through a number of webinars and those LinkedIn talks as to how to write an SOP, which is the best way. The best way it is, and trust me, being in US for 2 years, I've seen the culture, I've understood the people here. They just love a story that comes out from your heart. Even in case of job interviews, even if you don't have an experience, if you just say it out from your heart that I'm willing to learn, that is it. Because the entire country
Mm,
runs on trust and they just
yeah.
want to see your true self. That is it. So just tell your story. Do not lie anywhere. Make it flashy. Obviously, you will, but tell your story right from your heart. And that is where Galvanize came in, actually. I remember, I guess it was one of the best things that I got from Galvanize. Like, I did not want someone to write my SOP and give me. Galvanize actually asked me 20 to 25 questions that even I did not know should be considered while writing SOP. The questions were so well curated. It was so on point, like things I had forgotten that should be included in my SOP.
Mm.
The questions were regarding that. And those questions actually churned things up. After asking those questions, I guess there was a first, no, no, after asking those questions, I was asked to write my SOP. Yeah, right. After asking those questions, I wrote my own SOP. I wrote my story, which was a huge, I guess, 2, 3 pages SOP. And then with the help of my counselor, we shortened it down. It was curated, it was finalized. I love the process. So yeah, that was my
Okay.
SOP. And it should come straight from your heart. The true story, the true purpose, it has to be very strong. It can't be just like, I want to go to US to experience the culture. It has to have a very strong
Yeah.
reason why you want that university, why you want that course, how it's going to benefit you in your career process, in your career growth if you take that university and that course. If you
Mhm.
convince them, and trust me, only and only a true story from your heart will. You're true. It doesn't have to be the best one. It doesn't have to have the best English words, but it has to have the best story. Your story, that is it. And once the day you start believing your story is the best, you get the best SOP.
That is very nice. That's a very nice answer you gave. And
Thank
we
you.
also tell the students the same thing, because we have students who tell us that you didn't use this, the vocabulary. So we also tell them the same thing, that, you need to write, and it's not something that we will do for you. And
No,
I'm glad that you like the process with Galvanize
I
as well.
love it. Yeah.
We still follow the same process. We give them a questionnaire where they have to answer the questions, and then the editor helps them out. So we still follow that process. So I'm glad, you really liked it.
Thank you.
Okay. So now, talking a little bit about Georgia State, do you have any course that you specifically liked during your master's, which really helped, made you feel, okay, this is the right course that I have chosen, and anything like that? For you, do you remember anything like that?
Yeah, so thing is, as I said, that I did not want to run the same mistake that I did with my BTech. I had done my research and nothing came out of surprise. I was very satisfied with my course. I had already spoken to a couple of professors before coming, and I knew how the teaching pattern was here and how the courses were held here.
Mm,
Georgia State University in itself, they are very organized. So that's what I loved about them. They had a curriculum plan that they stuck to the T. On the first
mm,
class of every course, they're going to tell you exactly which chapter they're going to teach on every single class throughout the semester, and they stick to that.
exactly.
So that was great, and yeah, I did choose the best course. Like out of all the courses available, I had so there was no surprise. But one more advice. This is what I realized, though I wouldn't change my decision in any way. But this is just a piece of advice to all the students for any university you plan on pursuing. So data science is a very core concept here in US. If you study data science, you cannot work in any other domain other than data. It has to be the data analytics or data scientist or data engineer, something like that. But somewhere, suppose someone who's already a software engineer back in India wants to do a data analytics course here, but somehow work in a field that is a little bit of software development related, as well as has a little bit of analytics, because nowadays analytics is everywhere. So for
Everywhere,
people
yeah.
like you, so for people like you, I would suggest there's one more course that I did not know before I came here actually. It's called Information Systems. In Georgia State, it is MSIS, Master of Science in Information Systems. It is a 1 year course. It lets you choose the subjects you want to study. It has a few concentrations. So according to your preference, you can choose the concentration. It has a little bit of security courses also, architecture and everything. Taking this course actually back then I thought it wasn't important, but as in when you rise the ladder, the hierarchy, somehow or the other you would need an understanding of the architecture also. So having a course doesn't harm. But having
Mm,
this course, it is a very interdisciplinary course. Once you graduate, because you have to be in compliance with the F1 visa and USCIS like rules and regulations as well, you can move into any job role,
mm,
like legit any. You can go to any domain that is computer science oriented. You do not have to be constricted to data. Tomorrow you
yeah.
want a SD role at Amazon after graduating your master's here, you can go and do it if you have a MSIS degree. But if you have a data science degree, then SD is something you cannot do. It
Mm,
has to have data in your role name. So that
okay.
constricts you. Yeah. So I would
Okay.
suggest whoever's planning to go for a data course, do explore information systems because it is very helpful in the future, career-wise, profession-wise.
Mm. Yeah, and it keeps your options open when you go
Exactly.
into the job market, basically. Okay. That
Exactly.
is very interesting. Okay. So did you happen to do an internship in your first summer after you went there, or what did you do during the summer? Because normally there are no courses that are taken by the international students in the summer there. Many of them opt for internships. So did you do anything like that?
So, fun fact. So, thing is, also, this I got to know after I came to GSU. This is one piece of information that no one gave me. So, do a little research before you go into your university. Talk to your seniors; they'll be able to help you out. Uh, Georgia State University. So, basically, after 2 semesters of study, even if your course is for 2 years, 2 semesters of study is just 1 year. Even if your course is for 2 years, you are eligible to work full time, 40 hours a week. So once I got to know that, I did get a summer internship offer back in December 2021. But I ended up getting a full-time offer. So that's what I did. I did not have to go for a summer internship. Once my courses ended in April 2022, I started working full-time from May 2022.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So that information is very important. Do get to know that before you come here. That helps in the application of your jobs. Yeah, you can switch to the next slide. Yeah. Jayanti, are you speaking?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I lost my video or is
No,
Jayanti
I
speaking?
Jayanti, I think she lost her connection now there.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, you could just continue with the conversation, and I think she'll be joining us quickly.
Okay, sure. I'll just continue the second part of the question. There's a second part
Absolutely.
question actually. Yeah. How useful were the career fairs at universities to help you land an internship? So the offer of the internship that I got was actually through a career fair. But I wouldn't say it is very useful, but at least gives you a lot of insight about the company. So whenever you end up coming to US and start your degree, do attend the career fairs because it gives you a lot of insights about the companies. And most importantly, what it does is it helps you network a lot because everything in US is networking. You have to, it's best if you have a connection in the company you want to apply for and get a job in because everything is very relation based in US. So that's what the career fairs help me to do. Uh, but yeah, college, well, like that is the reason I chose GSU actually. I guess that is the next slide. How was my experience in Georgia State University? It's a very vibrant college in the middle of Atlanta. And the reason why I chose Georgia State over Penn State, like I was talking, uh, should I continue, Ramya?
Yes, absolutely. You can
Okay,
continue
okay,
on.
okay. Okay. Yeah, so the reason why I chose Georgia State over Penn State was because Atlanta is actually one of the upcoming tech hubs of US. Like we've already got Google, Microsoft, and the other big companies here. So I thought the job prospects would be better in GSU, and that was true. Yes, it is better in GSU. Yeah, so that is about it. And how was your overall experience studying at Georgia State University? It was great. Georgia State University is a very mix of culture. It has students all across the world, and for sure in the last couple of years, especially after COVID, we've seen a huge influx of Indian students also. So we have a huge Indian community here. But as I said, being in the center of the city of Atlanta, it helps, it gives you a lot of exposure to the professional life afterwards because Georgia State University offers, the masters at Georgia State, they offer a thing called sprint project. These sprint projects, so that was my reasonability, why I wanted the college, both in my SOP as well as in my visa interview. The sprint projects are real-time projects given by companies to the college. And we as students, that is what we did in our graduate research assistantship. We got, like, we were teamed up for different companies while we were doing our masters, and we had to solve their real-time problem using the data science acumen that we were learning at college. So that was really helpful. And having that on the CV, actually today, if you see my resume, I put that Georgia graduate research assistantship under my professional experience because it was always affiliated to a company or another university. So yeah, it did help me a lot, and I mean, experience here was amazing. I wouldn't change any part of my decision. Let's put it this way.
Great. So moving forward, I think Jayanti's also joined us. So just
Uh-huh.
a quick confirmation. So Jayanti, have you joined? And Okay, so till the time we get confirmation from her end. So yes, of course, you have spoken a lot about JSU out there, and anything in particular that I would say maybe top 2 to 3 points that you have in your mind that they're amazing positive experience for you.
Yeah, so Atlanta, now because Jayanti actually brought up weather, weather-wise, Atlanta is probably one of the best places you want to be. It never gets too hot, too cold, or the weather is very unpredictable, but it never gets too harsh. So weather-wise, it is one of the best places. Atlanta is home now. I don't think I if give never asked for, I would never leave Atlanta till I'm here in US. I love Atlanta, and just the location of the university is beautiful. It's very nearby to the East Coast, and you can go down anytime, and it's beautiful, basically. And second of all, Georgia State, like I just mentioned in the previous slide, the sprint projects, along with the kind of companies the university brings in for the career fairs, are top notch. So that way, I actually got to network with the like top executives of these companies, from vice presidents to directors, directly through these career fairs. Even though I never scored a job probably in those big companies, but today I have their connections in LinkedIn, and I'm still in chats with them, and I have maintained my connection and network with them. So tomorrow, if I get a job role and I want to switch, then yeah, they'll come to help. So the kind of companies Georgia State brings in is remarkable. And also, obviously, the course structure is beautiful. The entire experience was good. It was positive. I wouldn't say anything about the course was negative. Even today, the professors are helping out students who have passed out and require any kind of help from, suppose someone has lost their job because we just went through a recession, or someone isn't getting a job. And it's a huge thing to maintain your F1 status here. So all these things, professors are helping even today. So professors and students become like a family. It's beautiful.
Great. I think this is going to be quite exciting because a lot of students are aiming to, look at Georgia State University for their MS. So this thing where you put up, where professors are actually helping, which is really an open eye for all of them, because I'm pretty sure a lot of them would be expecting that, will they help, or, are they, helpful by nature, or how it's going to be, because they're all a new bunch of students, who are going to go there. So great. That's really
perfect. Come over to
good.
Atlanta, hit me up. I'll leave my LinkedIn at the end of this chat, and we can meet up. I'll be here too. I actually met another guy through Galvanize. My counselor back then, she had contacted me, I guess, a few weeks back to give me the contact of a guy who was coming to Georgia State and wanted some help. And I went and met him actually last week. So it's fun. It's fun to meet you guys. So whenever you all come down, I'm all yours. Whatever help you'll need.
Great, great. And I'm pretty sure that, you being there, I believe it's a quite safe place, because a lot of times students, parents are quite anxious with terms to is it safe for us. So I'm pretty sure the way you are helping students understand about JSU, I'm pretty sure it's quite a safe place out there.
Well, this I'd say about the entire US. It is very unpredictable. I wouldn't call it safe or unsafe. Just that know the right time to be at the right place. That certain places are marked and it's known that it is not safe. So just do not go there after dark. Simple. People take these risks and get into trouble. That is it. You stick to your zone, you go around in groups, you stick to your timings, most importantly. I haven't personally even witnessed anything, forget about experiencing. I'm staying here in Atlanta for 2 years, and it's not like we haven't had incidents. We keep hearing incidents, probably on a daily basis, but I haven't even seen a thing. So you just need to know where to be at the right time. And thankfully, I had a couple of people who were like my guiding star in terms of staying here and staying safe, whose instructions I followed to the T. There are a few places you're not supposed to go after dark. There are certain things you're not supposed to do after dark. And just be safe, simple. Safety is in your hands in US. So yeah, that is it. Just be in the right
Absolutely.
time at the right place, and it is unpredictable for sure. Even
Mhm.
after that, things happen, but till you stick to this, it's difficult for something to happen. Simple.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now that you were talking about, the safety aspects and, a little bit about the educational aspects, more in fact about the educational aspects, anything in particular you found difference between, doing your education in India versus, because I'm pretty sure you spoke about this in the earlier sections out there. So anything that you would like to wrap up here with respect to, abroad versus India, anything out there?
It's completely different. Education in India and US, let's put it out there, it's completely different. Here it is more practical based, and you will be taught the main concepts. Obviously, you wouldn't have a big fat book like we used to have in India. It is not about quantity but about quality. In US, it is you'll get a lot of assignments where you have to do your own research. It is a lot research based. You have to read up and you have to formulate your findings. It's based on that. And to be very honest, in the beginning, I wasn't that big of a research person in terms of reading papers and writing summaries and all these things. But I actually started realizing its importance along the way. And it's actually helpful. It makes you learn even more in the way you want to learn, and not set by an institution or by under any rule or regulation. You just get the structure here. You'll get to know the concepts, and then you're free to talk to your professor through email. You can set up calls. We used to have uh, one-on-one sessions that the professor used to keep, like office hours, wherein we could go and discuss about our problems or our doubts or our queries. So things are more fluid here, and you have a more direct contact with the professor that helps you get more out of the university and the professor. So that is the biggest difference, I would say.
Absolutely. Great, great. So when we are talking a little bit about, Galvanize, as we're nearing to the end of the conversation that we are having today, we wanted to understand, what made you select Galvanize on the first note, especially because, of course, there are a lot of people out there to help, but anything in specific that really attracted you?
Oh, Ramya, this is my favorite question. I am probably the biggest fan of Galvanize. Trust me, on a daily basis, I get so many questions from India, like students asking me, they want to come, this, that. Where should we go to for any application help? I don't even have to think, like now it is at the tip of my tongue, go to Galvanize. There are so many reasons, and I don't even remember how I came across Galvanize. I guess it was some post or some ad on Instagram. Like it was just a fleeting ad on Instagram, I guess. And I was just reading up on it. I was actually researching about a lot of these institutes and the consultancy companies that you can go to who help you throughout this process. And I wanted a very specific way of help. I did not want anyone to write my SOP. I wanted to tell my story, but I wanted someone to guide me what is the better way of presenting my story. Like I told, I knew what to study for my GRE and TOEFL, but since I was working, I did not know when to study what and how to cover the entire thing in 45 days or 60 days, whatever time you choose. So it exactly fit, like Galvanize, the way they do it, it exactly fit my requirements. And till date, I'm so happy with my decision. And it was beautiful. The experience was amazing. Galvanize has its own study plan, which is the best one, probably, I would say, because it is exactly the way you should prepare for the exams if you take it, GRE and TOEFL. I took both the test preps. The mock tests were immaculately similar to the original exam. When I took them, I was like, wow, I already know, I've gone through this process at least 5 times. So it was beautiful. It was very helpful. And I told you about the SOP and LOR process. And most importantly, the university shortlisting process was the biggest thing that I wanted help in, because I could not cover all grounds, and I wanted the best experiences help in order to shortlist. And based on my scores and my requirements, the best thing is Galvanize always gives you a questionnaire, which helps you jot down all your requirements. And then I don't know how they do it. I just don't know how they do it. They just curate the entire requirement from those questionnaires and just present everything to you in the best way possible. I can't think of a better set of 6 colleges or 10 colleges that I got from Galvanize that I would have applied for. Also, I love the flexibility. Like, I guess out of the 6 colleges that we ended up choosing, I had one college of my choice, and they were completely fine with that. They were like, yeah, whatever you want. It is your process, it is your future. So that was the best thing. Hands down. I just go around telling people, just go to Galvanize. You're set.
This is so exciting and motivating for all of us, working back end here, because when we hear from the student, it really excites us, and I believe it pushes us a little bit more that we do more better and better, for all our upcoming students out there. So we're really happy that you've shared your I would say honest and and open feedback from your end out there. While when we're talking about this being with Galvanize, do you have any thoughts with respect to the visa? Because we all fear that oh, okay, visa. This is we all are nervous, and we don't know what question we are going to face on day. So how was your experience, and anything that you would like to talk where Galvanize jumped in and helped you? That could be any point of time.
Yeah, so I was actually asked if I wanted a mock interview of visa, but I actually opted out because I did not want to over prepare myself, because that makes you look a little fishy. But somehow, I don't know, I just don't want to do that. But obviously, Galvanize helped me know what are the kind of questions and what I can face. I had gotten a complete understanding of that. There were videos, I guess. Yeah, I guess there were videos and questions from my counselor covering all grounds. Like, I knew exactly what all can be asked, and I had answers for them. But there are mock interviews also. If you want to go through them, that's amazing. I guess one session we had over call where I just spoke to her and told her that this is what I plan on answering if I'm being asked these questions with my counselor, and that was also helpful. And about visa, for sure, it is daunting. I was extremely terrified till I got my till they took away my passport, and I was like, okay, they're just going to return it. So once you're through, they take away your passport for stamping. But most of the cases I've heard, it's always max a 1 to 2 minute interview process. Same for me. It was even for myself, it was a 2 minute interview process. Know your finances. Like, if you ask for any tips on visa interview, I would say this: know your finance numbers at the tip of your tongue. Once the interviewer asks how much is 1.5 times the cost of your entire first year, you should have to the cent at the tip of your tongue. It is very important. What is your finance that you're going with? You should have the breakdown from where your finances are coming in and the exact numbers that are there on the paper, the document you provide the interviewer. If you go wrong there, they just do not like forgive you there. And second of all, I'm not sure if I should say this aloud, but you have to say that you're going to come back to India. That is very important.
That's really a great tip, I would say. But I'm pretty sure, because yes, of course, I think we are waiting with the intention that, oh God, yes, I should get my visa stamped. I should get my visa stamped. And they are like, why should I? Just give me a point where,
Exactly.
I feel confident and, I stamp the visa, because it's a huge responsibility for them as well. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Great.
So
great.
that's why, because the numbers matter a lot to them. If you'll be able to afford the education and your stay in US, which makes sense. So you need to know the numbers. You need to know your stuff basically. When you go there, no matter how nervous you are, because everyone is nervous, be confident when you speak because they are very generous to you. They understand you're nervous. So generally, I haven't heard someone grill too much, but until unless the interviewer is having a bad day, but they are also very considerate. But you have to understand that they have a huge responsibility, and there are a huge influx of students coming in every year, so they have to do it right. So have your numbers at the tip of your fingers. That is it.
Absolutely great. So, just one small thing here that we would like to understand. This would be the second last question that we have for the day. And yes, of course, we will be opening the panel for Q&A. What is your top tip for students, who are planning to do their higher education at Georgia State University? Anything in specific that you would like to say?
It will actually entail to the course. I cannot give any university specific tips because there aren't any. I can give tips of what to do if you want to come to US. I can give tips about stay in US, but university specific tips aren't any. I guess let's put it out to the students later. If there's any specific course, okay, I can generalize it. Let's put it this way. Know your course, know the prerequisites, know the requirements that will happen throughout the course. Like Python, like just this is an example. Python wasn't a prerequisite for my course, but I did have a subject in Python. And I knew it in the first semester. One of my subject was Python, and I knew knowing a little about it rather than going point blank without knowing anything about it would be helpful because, as I said earlier, in US education is very practical based. So you won't be taught from the beginning, from scratch, like things are in India. You have to know something and you have to do your research. So better in your free time, you already know what it is before you come to US, rather than you come to US and in a time crunch, you have to study and grasp everything. So know your course properly, know what are the requirements. If there is something that you can do about it, to know it beforehand, to learn it beforehand by taking a couple of courses back in India itself, just do it. It helps a lot. It reduces your stress because other than studying, you have to do all the work also throughout the day. So basically, it helps you get through and get better grades. That is it. So that's the tip for any university you go for.
And now that we've come to the end of the session, I'm pretty sure you answered this way long before
Yes,
that. You like
completely.
just, one last question that we have, and, if you could, tell us maybe one or two lines, if you would like to summarize Galvanize, and if you would like to recommend also Galvanize, what were the things that you would like to, jot down out there?
For sure, that's exactly what, I said this before also. I recommend every single student who want any kind of help before going to US or to any country abroad, go to Galvanize because they have a plan for all your requirements. If you want help in everything, they have a full package. If you want help in specific things, you can literally choose and curate your plan. So it is according to your need. I guess it's the best platform that will offer you such a curated way of help that they provide, and it's the best help. Trust me, the counselors are the best out there. They know what they're doing. They know life in US and abroad. They've come from here. They've experienced it themselves, and it's been amazing. Simple. Just go for it. Whatever help you need, first know your requirement. If you want help in exam, know it. If you don't want help in exam, probably you'll be able to do it yourself. You need an application process, know it. And accordingly, the counselors end up helping you. And it's one of the best guidelines you'll ever receive.
Great. Thank you so much, Suvaleena. And that you've been speaking to our students so quite some time, and sharing a lot of information with them. I would really request you to take a short break. Maybe you could sip a cup of tea or coffee out there, and I would quickly like to talk to our students a little bit about Galvanize, and then we will be opening our session to the Q&A, because I see some of the questions are already put up by the students, and I would really not like to wait them and speak to you out there. So quickly, guys, here we would like to understand with respect to how would you like Galvanize to help you in any particular aspect. As rightly Suvaleena said that, we do have options out there. So in case you're looking for test prep, admissions, both, or, you're not looking for something right now, but you want some information out there. So we are open to that as well. We do have something called as free profile evaluation, which is generally a part of the course, wherein we try to understand the student's profile, based on which we try, we give them some suggestions or to how they can build their profile a little bit more, and what are the shortcomings that they can look at, and start working on that. So if you're looking for that as well, yes, of course, we are there for. Great. I see a combination of both test prep and admission. We are really excited to help you out, guys, out there. And here I would also quickly like to help you understand, like, what are the things Galvanize actually does for students out there. So mobile applications, yes, of course, they are quite free, they are handy. But in case you're looking for a little bit more, where you're looking for test prep, we do have courses for GRE, IELTS, TOEFL, and SAT. And again, these test preps are also, bifurcated based on your requirements. We have a 3 months plan, 6 months plan. We do have a crash course as well, in case, you have a limited time and you like to quickly get a good score with the limited time that you have. So yes, of course, that is also available out there. And the admission counseling, where the team entirely works on right from, evaluating your profile to university shortlisting, helping you with the documents, visa, accommodation, a lot of other activities out there. And this is something which I, more than me saying, I think, Suvaleena by herself, she's been sharing this quite a lot of time, where, you have amazing features with practice tests and, complete knowledge with updated pattern, and a lot of perks of being with Galvanize. And most important, the one-on-one thing that Suvaleena also mentioned when it comes to admissions and your test prep, we do have personalized study plan based on your preferences and your requirements out there. And this is the process that we generally follow for our admission counseling, where we start with a call, university shortlisting, documents, visa, finance. So this is just for you to get an idea what the process is. Though this looks very simple, it goes easily, smoothly, one by one, but I'm pretty sure it takes a lot of time, a lot of efforts, and a lot of activities that involve in the whole process. And we would be really glad and thrilled to help you at each and every step, where you can simultaneously do the activities that you're doing on daily basis, and yes, of course, take you to your dream university, where we do the work for you at the back end out there. And this is the profile evaluation thing that I was saying. And my team has also shared the link in the chat box. And here now we are open to the Q&A session. And we also have Jayanti ma'am, who's joined us back. So Jayanti ma'am, would you like to say a few words out there?
Yeah, hi, Suvaleena, and hi, all of you.
Hi.
Sorry, I had some tech issues. But thank you again for the nice advice you gave, and definitely for the appreciation for Galvanize. It's a big motivation for our team members to hear you talk about us like this. And I hope it also encourages the other students who are here. So let's not keep them waiting, Ramya. Let's go on to the questions.
So we have one question from Aditya, who's planning to do a MS in artificial intelligence from Georgia State University out there. So do you have any specific advice for them?
I guess he wants to do it from Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Tech, yes.
Georgia Tech is an amazing college. Go for it. Not any. I would give a generalized advice. If you like the course structure, go for it. Do not think of the rank of the college. This is the advice I got very early into the admission process from someone, because back in India, the rank of the college matters a lot. But here, in terms of getting a job, that is not all important. You can be graduating from MIT and you can be working under someone who's like your boss, who's from some university you've never heard of. It is what you make out of the course and of your degree. That is what matters here. So always study the course structure. If it fits what you want, go for it. It should be the perfectly curated course structure, because at the end of the day, it is your skill that will come into work and not the college's reputation. For sure, it helps, but it's not the highest thing in the priority list while applying for a job like it is back in India. So yeah, artificial intelligence is a very booming course here, and it is obviously a subset of data science. And Georgia Tech is a very renowned college. If you got through, all the very best. Do meet up. I stay nearby to Georgia Tech, and looking forward to meet you. That is it. It's a beautiful college. Come along. No issues.
Great, thank you. But here I would like to interrupt a little bit as we're running short of time. We are unable to take the questions out there. But again, I would request students if they can fill in the profile evaluation form, wherein we can get in touch with you and we can help you out there. Personally, on a one-on-one conversation with the experts out there. And till the time, we are still open for the Q&A session. We have a last 2-3 minutes with us because, yes, of course, she's in USA and, she also have a little bit of her other tasks out there, and she's also shared her LinkedIn profile. So in case you would like to make a note of that, you could also get in touch with her on LinkedIn as well. And on behalf of Galvanize, again, Suvaleena, I would like to take this opportunity and thank you, because this is something really exciting, because we have been talking to students on various other aspects out there, but when they hear from someone who's actually been through the journey, I think it motivates them, it gives them the confidence, and they feel more as the word says, confident to take the step. So thank you so much for taking time and talking to us. It's a great pleasure to host you today. And also any piece of advice that you would like to share for the students by ending the session out there?
Before that, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to help out students who are coming, because I know how difficult and how daunting the process is, and I've gone through it. And whoever helped me during that process, I'm grateful to them. I'll probably be grateful to them till the end. And I know how difficult it is, and I want to help out all of y'all in any way I can. So it was great talking to you all, and thank you for having me. Thank you for bringing me back. It's a great experience to be in touch with your roots. And we're sorry we couldn't take much of your questions. So do connect with me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. And the piece of advice is, this will be the real adulting. Till now, whatever you've done in India won't be. This, once you come here, will be the real adulting. And just be strong enough and have an open mind and have that strength of mind to face whatever you will, and know that you will overcome it. Because whoever comes here, I haven't seen anyone fail at it. You will do it. You will get the best out of it. You've got the best opportunities, from education to profession, everything. Come here, explore it, get the most out of everything that is offered to you, and just keep a strong mindset when you come here. That is it. And have the confidence, and yeah, you'll be through. All the very best. It's been a pleasure, and I know how difficult it is. Have Galvanized at your side all the time, and hope to meet some of you out here. That is it. That is it from my end. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Ramya. Thank you, Jayanti. Thank you, all of y'all who've been a part of it throughout the last 1 hour.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Suvaleena. And with that, I also would like to thank all the students who have taken time and have been attending the session today. And in case you missed any part of the session, do check our YouTube channel because we do have the session on our YouTube out there. And in case you would like to know what are the upcoming sessions, do join our WhatsApp community wherein you will have updates as to what are the sessions that we have really exciting for you. Once again, thank you so much, everyone. And thank